Good afternoon. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are about to start. I'm going to introduce today, we have a joint media briefing to provide the updates on the funeral preparations. We are joined by the family and a team of ministers and the municipality mayor, City of Johannesburg. I will quickly just give the names of the team that is joining. We've got Minister Chabane, who is going to make a presentation on the statement on the updates. He is supported by Minister Peters and Minister Mayite. And we also have the Mayor Parks for the City of Johannesburg. We also have General Matanzima, who's representing the family, supported by Mr. Ndaba Mandela, I'm sorry. Ndaba Mandela, I'm sorry, Ndaba. Before I hand over to the minister, may I just make a request, which is a request from the team that is filming. When we request or you standing up for asking questions, can you use the mic and can you stand so that the cameras can be able to locate where you are? So that's the request from the team that is doing the recording. So over to you, Minister.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this latest update on the preparations for the state funeral for our beloved president. We are pleased to have you with us here this afternoon. I'm accompanied today by Minister of International Relations and Cooperation, Mrs. Mayite Kwanamashawani, the Minister of Transport, Minister Dipuo Peters, the Executive Mayor of City of Johannesburg, Mr. Tau. We had hoped will also be joined by Tshwane. They may join us in due course, but if they don't, we'll make special arrangements for you to interact with Tshwane Metro. These leaders are here to provide closer details of some of the logistics in and around the two cities, as well as South Africa's hosting of the large number of international dignitaries who have begun to arrive. We will, in this briefing, provide more information on some of the arrangements on which we reported yesterday. But we do again want to start by thanking people around the country and the world for their warm and generous responses in the wake of the passing of our beloved President Mandela. These demonstrations of love and affection will go a long way to entrenching our memories of Madiba and in shaping the way we live and work with one another as human beings in this country and beyond. What we have seen over the past few days reflects the true spirit of South Africa as a place where people of all backgrounds are working together to create a non-racial, non-sexist, and prosperous society. These efforts are creating the hope that we will achieve even greater things than we have during the first 20 years of our freedom. I now want to turn to the update on the program over the next few hours and days. With regard to the prayer services this morning, government has been heartened by the positive response of various communities of faith and other civil society formations to President Jacob Zuma's call for today to be observed as a day of prayer and reflection. We are aware that a large number of events are being held in South Africa and abroad today, giving people an opportunity to come together in fellowship and reflection. We hope these events will bring comfort and healing to congregants and participants, and that it will inspire all of humanity to ensure that Mandela's values live on in our hearts and in our actions. As these events take place, government agencies will be hard at work making preparations for the rest of the week's official programs. From today, we will see the arrival of a large contingent of heads of states and government and a broad range of eminent persons, including the royalty. The fact that the international leaders are making their way to South Africa at such a short notice reflects the special place President Mandela holds in the hearts of people around the globe. We are touched by the fact that many countries have declared periods of mourning, ordered their flags to be flown at half-mast, and draped or fit landmarks in colors of the South African flag. We truly appreciate these gestures. We appreciate the willingness showed by a broad range of eminent persons to come to South Africa to join us personally at this time of mourning, reflection, and celebration of Mandela's life and legacy. To date, 13 African states have confirmed attendance in addition to the 15 from outside the continent. International and regional organizations from the United Nations and the European Commission to the African Union, for example, have also confirmed attendance. 11 eminent persons will be in South Africa during this period also. From the United States, the President and Mrs. Obama will be accompanied by 3 former presidents, President Carter, President Bush, President Clinton, and their spouses, and 26 congressmen and women. The Brazilian President, Ms. Rousseff, will be accompanied by 4 former heads of states, President Sani, President Melo, President Cardoso, President Lula da Silva. We expect more confirmations, and we wish to reiterate that our international guests are most welcome as they join us in this difficult time. With regard to the official memorial service at the FNB Stadium in Johannesburg, the official memorial service at the FNB Stadium on Tuesday the 10th, the event will formally begin at 11 a.m. The gates will be opened early, around 6 o'clock. This is an international event that will be attended by members of the public alongside national and international leaders. The President of the Republic of South Africa will address the official memorial service. The program will also include tributes by heads of states from various regions of the globe, the continent in particular, and representatives of international and regional organizations. Eminent persons will also address the gathering. As we invite people to participate in this event, we must make the additional point that the body of President Mandela will not be in position at the official memorial service. President Mandela's body will lie in state at the Union Buildings only from the Wednesday, the 11th, to the 13th of December 2013. Our advice is that people outside Gauteng come together in their own provinces to ensure that this is a truly nationwide event and that people take advantage of the fact that all key events are being broadcast live. Provincial and local authorities have been requested to arrange transport for those who are coming from parts of the country who want to come to the FNB Stadium and the overflow venues at Ellis Park Stadium, Orlando Stadium, and Dobsonville Stadium. Big screens will be installed at overflow venues to allow members of the public to follow proceedings at FNB stadiums in the company of compatriots. While these venues offer extensive seating, people must accept that at some stage This capacity will be filled and police and other authorities will turn people away. We call on people to cooperate and demonstrate patience and dignity if they have to be turned away in an event of this nature. Government is doing all it can to allow as many people as possible to be part of these official events, but there are limits to how many people we can reasonably accommodate. Members of the public who want to attend the National Memorial Service at FNB Stadium or any other stadium must plan their trips carefully and leave early and use public transport, because no cars will be allowed in the precinct on the various venues which have been identified. There will be road closures around the FNB Stadium and no cars will be allowed at the stadium. Some of the road closures have already been listed on various government websites. There will also be road closures on Tuesday morning around Orlando Stadium, Ellis Park Stadium and Dobsonville Stadium. Mourners to FNB Stadium can travel by metro rail from all major stations in Gauteng. They will also be able to travel by Gautrain to Park Station and transfer to the metro rail, which will take them to FNB Stadium. People will also be able to walk from the surrounding areas to the stadiums as planned. A special rear via service will also be in operation. The city of Johannesburg has a number of park and ride sites for FNB Stadium, Ellis Park and Orlando Stadium. Members of the public must watch the media, visit website and follow broadcasts in the media for details. The city of Johannesburg has also established mourning sites at various locations, but the city will provide more details in its own briefing here shortly. With regard to the public viewing areas, we must emphasize that also on Tuesday, provincial authorities will be hosting various events around the country where people are invited to come together to view the national event at FNB Stadium on big screens. These public viewing areas, which are normally activated during the national events such as the State of the Nation address, will be similar to the fan parks that were in place during the 2010 FIFA World Cup. Around 90 big screens will be set up by the government communications and information systems, GCIS and partners in all the provinces. We expect this number will increase as provincial plans are consolidated later this afternoon and tomorrow. Some of the big screens will be live from Tuesday the 10th December to Monday the 16th, which is the Day of Reconciliation. On the Day of Reconciliation, we will unveil a statue of President Mandela at the Union Buildings and observe the 100th anniversary of the Union Buildings as a seat of government. Throughout this period, people will also be able to express their emotions and reflections in books of condolences that have been posted at various government offices around the country and our diplomatic missions abroad. Details of these sites where books and condolences have been opened have been posted on the government memorial website, that is www.mandela.gov.za. Details of the public viewing areas for Tuesday's provincial events will be posted on government websites and social media later today and tomorrow morning. With regard to the program of the Lying in State, the procession will leave one military hospital at 7 a.m. daily, and President Mandela's body will be on view from 8 a.m. On Wednesday the 11th, the Mandela family and VVIPs will view the body from 10 a.m. Members of the public will file past the body from 12 to 17:30. On Thursday and Friday, December 12 and 13, the public will have access to the place from 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. We also appeal to people to work with the various agencies of government who will manage this route so that this daily event will be dignified and secure. 2 sites in Pretoria will be used as points from which mourners will be shuttled to the Union buildings and back. No other access will be possible. Mourners are also advised that cell phones will need to be switched off or out of sight as mourners file past the body. Government reiterates its appeal for members of the public to line the memorial route each morning to form a public guard of honor. The public guard of honor will not apply in the evening. With regard to preparations in the Eastern Cape in Qunu, more information will be released in the coming days about the arrangements for the laying to rest of President Mandela at Qunu in the Eastern Cape. However, it is worth noting that the South African Airways will operate a special air transport service to ferry mourners who will attend the funeral of the world icon and former President Mandela in the Eastern Cape. This special service, for which travelers will pay, will cater for the mourners who will attend the funeral, and the service will also be available on the return leg of their travel. The special service does not replace and will not disrupt South African Airways' existing daily operations to the Eastern Cape, except that the airspace will be restricted around Mthatha Airport. Information about the readiness of the Airports Company of South Africa to manage passengers and aircraft during this period has been compiled into a fact sheet, and this fact sheet is available on the official government memorial website www.mandela.gov.za. In addition to the regular press conferences and briefings, government is also posting information regularly on the following website: www.mandela.gov.za, www.gcis.gov.za, and www.facebook.com/governmentza, and all the Twitter and platforms of the GCIS. And government also advises people to check the websites and social media accounts of provincial and municipal governments for intermittent updates on the preparations and the events as they unfold. Thank you.
Thanks, Minister. At this point, can I invite General Matanzima to read out a statement? May I also indicate that the generals and the members of the family will not take questions. They will just read out the statement. And thereafter, we will take questions for the other members.
Thank you, Director, Honorable Ministers, the Executive Mayor, members of the media. On behalf of the Nelson Mandela family, we take this opportunity to extend our sincere gratitude to the religious community for the thoughts and prayers extended to our family through prayer and meditation. Indeed, our burden of pain and sorrow is daily being lessened by the outpouring of national and international grief for our father and the elder. We have always been mindful that we share data with the rest of South Africa, Africa, and the rest of the world. Our mothers, Graça Machel and Winnie Madikizela Mandela, are cognizant of the love, support, care, prayers, and meditation extended to the family in the different form and manner during this hour of need. Both our mothers, Graça Machel and Winnie Madikizela Mandela, nonetheless express their conviction that Nelson Mandela, like a flower, will continue to blossom forever in all your hearts. The family of our departed dear father is comforted in the knowledge that the world so deeply shares our sense of loss for one of Africa's greatest sons. We are melancholy, but we do not despair. Instead, we are filled with hope. Part of us is indeed gone forever, but he has left us enduring lessons and examples of what must be continued, what must be intensified, what must be ended, and what must still be strived for. Though he answered to the name father, husband, granddad, son, and a statesman, we all understood that ultimately Tata remains an inspiration not only to us, but the rest of humanity. We who were privileged and honored to share part of his being, a profound mix of sadness, pride, and gratitude, is the strongest emotion we share as a family. That we were blessed to be associated with this great icon and to have a role in perpetuating his legacy, which he gifted humanity, is the most precious birthright which has bestowed on us all. As we lift our eyes to the dawn of a new era without a family elder at our sides, we hope you will join us with all the passion, fervor, prayer, and support with which you will help us mourn his passing and to keep his dream alive. Keep Nelson Mandela's dream alive. Let us pledge to keep Mandela's dream alive in the way in which we honor the humanity in each other, in the way in which we solve our most difficult problems, and in the way in which we raise up the poor, the downtrodden, and the marginalized. In this regard, we enter into a solemn covenant with you, the people of our country, Africa, and citizens of the world, that we will be true to the values and ideals which Tata stood for and was prepared to pay the supreme price. As a family, we have no option except to be bound by these values. Let the word go here from hence, that we dare not fail. And we know and know too well that you, the people of the world, will not fail Madiba. May we also use this opportunity to inform the South African public that our king, the king of the Thembu nation, Zwelibanzi Buyelekhaya Dalindyebo, and his delegation is visiting the family today, Sunday, 8th December 2013, to comfort and counsel and to apprise himself of the funeral and burial arrangements. We thank you.
Thanks, General. At this point, I'm going to invite Mayor Parks Dau, who will also read out a statement.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon to everybody. I will try not to repeat some of what the minister has said. safe to indicate a number of issues that we think are of public importance with regards to the arrangements for the memorial service on Tuesday. The first, as Minister Chaban indicated, is that there will be no private transportation to FNB Stadium. Neither will there be a night vigil on Monday. Therefore, access to the stadium would only be from the morning of Tuesday. Various transport arrangements have been made to be able to access the FNB Stadium. With regards to the Rea Vaya bus rapid transit system, there will be no normal Rea Vaya BRT buses on Tuesday. All buses on the routes of Rea Vaya would be dedicated towards mourners to access the stadia that have been announced. Mourners will also be able to access the Gautrain to Park Station and access Metro Rail services to Nasrec Station, and similarly be able to access Rea Vaya BRT from Park Station. We are cognizant of the fact that attendance at FNB Stadium would be on a first-come, first-served basis, and anticipate that additional services for transportation would be required at the other memorial sites that have been identified. Public transportation would be made available to access Ellis Park Stadium using, amongst others, Metro Rail, Rea Vaya, Patco, and Metro Bus services. Similarly, additional transportation would be made available for people to access the Orlando Stadium and Dobsonville Stadium in Soweto. With regards to Orlando Stadium, Metro Rail services together with Rea Vaya would be made available. And with regards to accessing both Orlando Stadium and Dobsonville Stadium, the following sites have been made available to the public. Patco would be accessible from Protea Glen, Merafe, Mulapo, Bara and Deepkloof, Shawelo, Mapetla, Dube, and Meadowlands. Furthermore, there would be supplementary bus services available to go to Dobsonville Stadium from Mdeni, Naledi, Dobsonville, Orange Farm, Silvertown, and Plumfisher. The following roads would be closed: the N1 and Renshaw Road, the N1 and Soweto Highway, the N1 and N17, the N1 and Nasrec off-ramp, Greenwood Road and Poisons Reserve, and Nasrec and Main Reef Roads. There are additional mourning sites that have been activated as of today. And in these sites, there would be live television coverage in the various parts of the city of Johannesburg. People could be able to access these sites close to their neighborhoods, and these are the sites that you can access, including on the day of mourning, on every single day, in fact, including on the day of the funeral. The Deepkloof Extreme Makeover Park, Tokoza Park, Orange Farm Regional Park, the Crematat Park in El Dorado Park, Innisfree Park in Sandton, Ivory Park, the Deep Sloot Park, Jubel Park in the CBD, Rose Park in Lenesia, Tanzania Park in Cosmos City, and Orlando West Regional Park. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mayor. The 3 statements will be uploaded immediately after this briefing in our GCIS website under the mandela.gov.za. At this point, I'm going to be taking questions for the ministers. Please remember to stand up so that the cameras can be able to locate. Which one?
Thank you. Shabtai Gold with DPA. I just wanted to ask if there's any further indications about world leaders or who might be coming on Tuesday, or celebrities or any dignitaries, any names that you might have in addition to the Americans and Brazilians that the minister mentioned. Thank you very much.
Hi, ma'am. Anton Swart, AOD German TV. I got a question on logistics. With regard to transport, will there be any special arrangements for media per se? And the expected length of the event, if it kicks off at 11, when is it presumed to be done?
Yes.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Renee Volgra from Bloomberg News. Minister, I would just like to know, also on the issue of heads of state, firstly, I would also like to know, my colleague over there, which other heads of state have confirmed? And then secondly, with regards to President Obama and President Rousseff, will they be here for the memorial service or for the funeral on Sunday?
Thank you very much, Alex, Eyewitness News. Any chance that you could talk us through some of the things that we can expect during the memorial service itself, in terms of who will be speaking, if there's going to be special performances? Any details you couldn't share it yesterday? Any chance we can hear a bit more about that today? Thank you.
Graham Hoskin from The Times. Any idea yet on the route that Mandela's body will travel on between the 11th and the 13th? And also, are you able to elaborate on any security details as well, please, for both the memorial service and for the funeral and the rest of the week?
Okay.
Hello, Ma'am Williams. My name is Given at the Political News. My question is to Minister Peters. As you know, that large number of South Africans will be traveling to FNB using your e-toll roads. Will your department scrap with the e-toll altogether during the mourning period? Has that been considered? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
My name is Warren from the New Age. Mr. Minister Chabane, can you give us an idea of how much money the government will spend on a funeral? And the second question is for Minister Nkwana Mashavane. South Africa is now in the full glare of the media across the global village. These activities that are taking place in this country currently, can you say they are likely to produce some positive spin-offs for the country, economically, diplomatically, and politically? Thank you.
I think I'll take this last one and then the ministers can respond.
Jeffrey York from the Toronto Globe and Mail. It was mentioned yesterday, I think, that the members of the public will be accredited if they want to view the body lying in state. Can you clarify what that accreditation process will involve, and will any members of the public be told that they cannot get accreditation?
Okay, thank you. I think I will allow the ministers to respond in the set of questions and then we can take another round.
Well, let me join the colleagues ministers in condoling the Mandela family, but again thank most heartily the international community for the overwhelming messages of condolences and sympathies that we keep receiving on behalf of the Mandela family, of the government and the people of South Africa. I had the honor to represent South Africa at the Africa-France security meeting when the sad news broke out in Paris. That's where I was. I just want to reiterate that indeed we would want to continue thanking the international community for this overpouring messages of sympathies and condolences. For this father of our nation, the international icon, the only living legend celebrated on his birthday, the 18th of July, by the United Nations. Let me first start by confirming that as we are sitting here with you now, we now have confirmations from 53 heads of states, heads of governments, and also a list of former presidents, former heads of governments, eminent persons from all over Africa and throughout the world. There was a question raised about the outline of the program. We do have a program that we've been working on that's almost concluded. We have a meeting at 4 o'clock wherein we will present this final draft to the leadership of the family, the Mandela family, and of the South African government to sign off. And it shall immediately be posted on the government website. What we can confirm now is there will be space for regional representation by heads of states to speak on their own behalves, meaning on behalf of their own countries, but also on behalf of the regions that they come from. There was a question that was raised on how we will be managing time. We all agree, I guess, that this is unprecedented, that we have this number of heads of states, heads of governments, someone said celebrities from across the globe, coming to, above all, a funeral. This is a funeral. So it's not going to be possible for all leaders to speak in that one day. One matter that I thought it was important that we should raise here is that in funerals like this, though this unprecedented, the official memorial service is on Tuesday. But because we are Africans, we cannot say we wouldn't necessarily expect all our dignitaries to arrive in Kunu. So we do expect majority of the leaders to attend the official memorial service. So the official memorial service where majority of global leaders would attend is the one on Tuesday, together with members of the public at FNB Stadium. So if there are any other further questions regarding this, we will come back and answer. Are we able to give you a full list of the attendees, specifically the 53 that I said have confirmed? We will upload this information on government websites as and when we have the fuller details of who will be coming. All I can say to you again is all systems go as far as we are concerned. Our logistical arrangements are ready to receive all our heads of state, all our heads of governments, and all our dignitaries. I think we have made an appeal through embassies, high commissions, and all government representative diplomatic corps yesterday. We shared the information with them that our embassies, our high commissions, our offices across the world would be open throughout the weekend to facilitate movement of our guests. But we also made an appeal through these diplomats that, by the way, we all appreciate that, we all know that we will all be coming to pay tribute and to this icon that belongs to all of us, that the day belongs to him, and that we are all here to give the support and the strength that the family would need from all of us. I thought that would be adequate for now. Thank you.
Minister Chabane and Nkwana Mashabane, the Executive Mayor of Johannesburg, the bereaved family represented by Lieutenant General Matanzima and Mr. Ndaba Mandela, ladies and gentlemen of the media, good afternoon. I just want to indicate that there's only one question that probably relates to the area of my responsibility, because you have heard the presentation of the mayor. It covers the work that we have done with regard to transport for the 3 spheres, which means the Gauteng province with national as well as the municipality. That would make it possible for us to ferry the mourners with ease. And I just want to indicate that in the statement, even the one presented by Minister Chabane on our behalf, there's indications of what is going to happen about road closures and public transport, as well as the provision for park and rides. And the statement does make it clear that we should desist from using personal transport and make it possible that we use the public transport that will be provided, because no cars will be allowed in the vicinity of the FNB. So I just want to indicate that the park and ride provisions that we have made is adequate to move the masses, and in particular if you can consider the fact that the bulk of the people will be moved with buses and trains. So I just want to indicate that the issue of putting or cancelling or halting the operation of the toll system does not arise. Thank you very much.
There was a question about whether we think we will gain some spin-offs from a funeral. I thought it was a bit of a loaded question. I thought it was important that we reiterate that this is a funeral. But the overpouring messages of support, of condolences that we receive from the international community confirm once again that the struggles for the underprivileged and the oppressed that the father of our nation, Holy Father Nelson Mandela, stood for, had borne fruits. That people associate his people's struggles, the struggle of the people of South Africa, with still the struggling masses, the voiceless across the world. The message we are already witnessing is what Madiba said: it always seems impossible until it's done, and it can be done peacefully. We believe that when our visitors get back after this funeral will say, indeed, the long walk to freedom has been tedious, has been long, but this is what the people of South Africa have achieved in the 19 years since the dawn of democracy and freedom, led none other than our father, the international icon. That Mandela leaves a South Africa that's a better place than it was pre-1994, that more people now have access to clean, potable water, that there's full access to children's basic education, that there's more basic health care to our people than it was in yesteryears, that we continue to grapple with the challenges of inequality, of unemployment, and also of making sure that we grow our economy to create space for all South Africa who live in this very beautiful country. I think the message that Madiba leaves for us is that his life was our message on how we should take this country forward and how we should continue championing diplomacy of Ubuntu and how we should continue maintaining and fighting for a peaceful and prosperous Africa, living at its peace with itself and with the international community.
After having thanked the world and the community and South African people for the overwhelming support given to the Mandela family and the South African people at large, I would like to thank you for the overwhelming questions you have asked. On an issue which has been addressed by the minister here, I would like to reiterate that let's focus on the task at hand. Let's get it done. We'll see the rest of the things later. In terms of our culture, you don't discuss other things other than to get the task of a funeral done. And I will appeal to you that let's focus on the task. We have got some few days to go. Let's soldier on and get there. As to who will benefit, who will not benefit, I think at that point we can begin to entertain the question. But for now, I would appeal that let's focus on what is supposed to be done now. On the issue regarding to President Obama, I think the information is available in public, and the knowledge which we have is that the American delegation will attend the Tuesday session and depart. If there's any new information, we'll give it to you. As to whether you'll have the opportunity to see the list of who is attending, who is not attending, as we said, we have currently over 60 countries which have confirmed, and an overwhelming number of heads of states and other eminent persons who have confirmed they will be available. We thought it might not be appropriate for us here to read them one by one, but as the minister said, the information will be posted on the website of those who have confirmed, and we'll keep on updating so that we make your job simpler. And as I promised yesterday, we'll definitely give you that information. As to who is going to speak, our statement did say, unfortunately, we don't have a copy of it, that there will be representatives of international community, the various regions in the world, from North America, South America, the continent, Europe, Asia, Eastern and Western Europe, and other eminent persons who are going to speak. And at an appropriate time, we'll give you a list of those who are going to speak. With regard to the routes of those who are lying from the 1 mil to union buildings, I saw an article by one of you to say we don't know what we are doing. Up to now, we don't even know what routes we are going to use. I would like to assure you that we know the routes where everything has been planned properly. At an appropriate time, we'll give you the information. We'll never get lost. As to the security details, I'm sure even yourselves, you know that question is not a question in which we can answer in a positive way to give you the details of that. I think and all of you will understand that it's proper for us not to answer in the manner in which it has been asked. But what we can assure you is that all the necessary steps have been taken to ensure that everything runs smoothly until the last day and beyond. As to how much you have spent, it's a difficult question to answer. In financial terms, it says how much did you budget for the funeral? Because you would not know how much you are going to spend up until the end of the process, unless if you have specifically budgeted for it, like when you go to insurance companies, funeral insurance, you know that you have got 30,000 rand there, and at the end, this is what I'm going to use. But in this instance, what I can assure you is that it's not going to come cheap. As you know, as you see the arrangements which are there, the difficulties which we are facing, and the issues which we are dealing with, is a special funeral. It's a state funeral of its own kind, and therefore I wouldn't like to lie to you that it's going to get cheap. But for now, we can't give you an answer. But if you come after, we'll be able to give you the figure up to the last cent. With regard to the FNB event, we said it's starting at 11 o'clock. In our view, it should not last more than 3 to 4 hours. So we hope we should finish in time so that those who are departing for various places, they should be able to go. We'll try to run the program as efficient as possible, regardless of the number of speakers who will be there. We'll try to make sure that at least we stick to the timelines if we're able to make it, and we think we will make it. With regard to the arrangements for the media, I think GCIS will look at that. It's a question which you have asked. I'm not sure if they'd considered that, but for me as a layman, I thought it will be good for you to travel with the masses and everybody else so that you can get some stories there. But if you want to travel on your own, I think GCIS can make arrangements for you to if you want a convenient way in which you can move from one place to the other. I think that is something which can be attended to without difficulty if there's a need for that. I think GCIS is the relevant institutions to coordinate that type of effort. So if, as I'm saying, if there is a need, discuss with GCIS. I think that's an issue which can be resolved if it's possible for us to do that. If there's a need, not if it's possible. If there's a need, it is possible, but only if the need arises. But if there's no need, I think we might not do that, but thank you.
Thank you very much. I think I want to end the briefing unless there's one or two that was not clarified. The ministers will be available on a daily basis to respond to your questions, but should you feel that there is a question that was not answered, and I'm really taking two. You didn't speak, I will allow you.
It's Parashni Govender from
Paresh?
Parashni Govender from Reuters. The Dalai Lama has indicated that he's not going to attend the funeral, but should he change his mind, will South African officials be ready to help him facilitate his visa?
And then I said I'm going to take two. That's you then, and that's it. They will be available every day to respond to your questions.
Good afternoon. Spiso from ABC News America. This is an extension of the question about media access, and I just want to know that will there be provisions for broadcasters who do not have a position inside the stadium? Will there be an outside position, and if so, will the satellite trucks have access onto the stadium?
Can I suggest that we will respond to the media question, the technical questions, we will respond because we are directly involved with that. But can I allow the minister to respond to the Dalai Lama issue? And I think that's the last one.
Well, as we said earlier on, and let me just reiterate this as an African, that we don't issue invitations for funerals. So we just confirmed with the Mandela family again that there were no invitations issued for this funeral. This is how we take care of funerals in our villages. Thank you. The question is there any special guest who has a special invitation? I am answering the question because we were confirming only those who had said we are coming to the funeral. So please, I am sharing with you traditions. I've answered the question the way I did because I have been sent letters of invitations to funerals in other countries. Here where we live, we do not issue invitations to funerals. This is how the family had asked us to communicate the message. So people who heard about Madiba's funeral and had said they are coming have said so. But as South African representatives, we also have received in the past strictly non-transferable letters of invitation or invitation cards to attend funerals. Here, where we live, we do not issue invitations to funerals. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I did indicate yesterday that for what we have been asked to do, we think we're on the spot. We're doing everything possible, regardless of the complicated nature of the event we're dealing with. And I did indicate that should anyone of our guests or people who are coming wishes to proceed to Kuno, our systems are ready to handle, even if all of them would decide to go there. Regardless of the challenges which are there, we think we can't say no, don't go. So it's in response to the question which has been asked. Should President Obama decide to proceed, they will inform us accordingly, and then we'll take the necessary arrangement as we promised to make it possible. So anyone who would like to come, as we said, not only President Obama, ordinary South Africans, whichever venue you want to go, we are there to try and assist to the best of our ability. Thank you.
Thank you. We've come to the end of the media briefing. Until tomorrow, thank you very much. I don't know ukuthi ubani umnikazi wale ncwadi.